Hello, friends, and welcome to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. I am not Liv Harrison. I am Taylor Stroll, the best sidekick in the entire world. I wanted to welcome you into this episode, which is the season finale of our first season of the show. It's going to be a best of season one. We hope that you enjoy it. If you do, please hit subscribe wherever you are listening or if you're watching on the YouTube channel. We hope that you guys enjoy this, laugh along with us, reminisce with us as we go through the best moments of our first season of It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison.
Welcome, you guys. It's so great to see our first studio audience. I know that we've had one before, but those were children. And these are actual real adults who drove themselves here on purpose. And it wasn't because I was feeding them Lunchables in the middle of the day and forced them to come be an audience last week. Not that that's what happened. So thank you for being here. I want to say it's kind of crazy because I don't know about everybody else, but my family has just started to emerge from quarantine. We were definitely in the lockdown. We took this pandemic very seriously and we just started coming out. And I got to say, the thing that is so shocking about coming out of your house after being inside of it for, 18 months is what is left that is, still in your town. You know what I mean? Like what businesses are still around and what's still going on. Like, for instance, we have a chandelier company establishment. Okay. Like before the pandemic, I was confused. I was like, how do these people pay for their bills? Like who in the world is running to the chandelier? But why are they still here after the pandemic? Like, can you just not see that there's this table, of family of four, I'm making up things, and they're eating dinner because that's what we're supposed to do. And they're sitting around and the dad goes, kids, the pandemic is over. Run to the minivan. And one of the kids says, okay, Dad, where do you want to go first? Why, the chandelier establishment, of course. Great, Dad. Headed to the minivan. I mean, like, how is that going to happen? Okay. Like, who in the world has been dying to get back into the chandelier store to say, if only I could, spruce up my house with a chandelier, but that darn pandemic. But lots of things changed. Like, for instance, it's really interesting to see what restaurants are still here, and which ones went away. My favorite is when you have a restaurant that is the exact same restaurant replaced by the same restaurant, but a different name. You know what I mean? Like in my town, we have a place called The Chicken Place. Okay. They didn't make it during the pandemic. Okay. We now have The Chicken Spot. Okay. And I'm sitting here thinking, what could be so great about that chicken? Like how different could that chicken possibly be? You know what I mean? And is the owner of the new place just really proud of himself because he's a line outside the door and the old owner drives by and he throws eggs at it? He's like angry, bitter. He's like, it was the name, so that's interesting. So many things have changed. I have to say, what's been really shocking is the great things that have come out of the pandemic and the not so great things. But let's review a couple of things and you can decide in your brains which ones are great and which ones aren't. We have streaming of movies in our homes. How much do you love that? Except the popcorn's not as good. I don't know. I can't get that Pop Secret to be anywhere near, although you can send me some Pop Secret if you want me to. I can be an influencer. I'm not. But we have we can watch movies in our home, which is fantastic. We have, let's see what else has changed. We have a new president. That's changed. Oh, restaurants. You can eat outside. New York has tripled their restaurants, because they just took over the streets as if there was so much room there to begin with. But now you can eat in the streets of New York, which who wasn't dying to do that before? Rats on your feet. And it's not true. They don't have any of those. And then what else? Oh, that's right. Bill Cosby changed his residence. He has moved in the pandemic. And who saw that one coming? Who saw we were going to start a pandemic with the Tiger King and end with Cliff Huxtable wanting to go back on tour? Did anyone see that coming? I did not, okay? I also didn't see Prince Harry moving here. We now have a prince. And we lost Chris Harrison, okay, from The Bachelor. It's been turmoil, you guys. The end of the world is coming because without Chris Harrison, how do we even have Bachelor in Paradise? What does Mexico do? We don't know. But we also, I mean, like, it's getting so crazy, all the changes, that like any moment now we're going to have really wild things happening, like Gwen Stefani marrying, I don't know, Blake Shelton. I mean, that would be, hold on a second. You guys, this just in. Gwen Stefani married Blake Shelton. So there you have it. End of the world is happening. Yeah, I've got to say, I wish I would have known exactly how short the United States had planned to participate in the pandemic. I didn't know we were going to do it for such a little amount of time, because I would have prepared accordingly. I would have saved money. If I would have known how little we were going to stay in this thing, I would have, just maybe not bought so much from Amazon. And because I forgot how expensive it is to buy your friends. I mean, be social. I forgot what it is to go out. And actually, I just think about the Canadians. I really am. I'm a little jealous of the Canadians. They are going to be loaded when they get out of quarantine in 2027. So let's all pray for them. So you guys stick around. We've got an incredible guest. She's not from Canada. She's from Waco, but you are tuned into It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Vojtovich. I'm super excited to be here today. I don't know if you guys noticed, but people kind of forgot to act because of lockdown. They just forgot how to socialize, They don't even know how to properly type things out anymore. Like, this guy on the internet asked me to send him nudes the other day. So I did, and he got really mad because they weren't of me. Be specific, Something else about me is that I am a theater kid. I do have a theater degree and the salary to prove it. Theater school is interesting because they don't tell you this when you go sign up for it, but there's this thing called Real Talk Day. And it's when the professor sits you down and tells every person in front of the whole class what they look like so they know what parts to audition for. It's not a good time. My professor sat us all down for Real Talk Day, and he went through the room. He just goes, you, funny best friend, you, villain, Allison, young white female. I'm sorry, I didn't know my professor could be replaced with a mirror. I was so upset. I've known I'm a young white female my entire life. The way my brother and I used to be able to tell if my mom and her friends were drinking would just be to stick our heads into whatever room they were hanging out with and unleash the cry of the white woman. We would just go, hey, Mom, woohoo! And if they responded with the cry of the white woman, woohoo! We stayed upstairs that night. The crazy thing is that the cry of the white woman helps me make friends today. If you guys don't know how to make friends when you go out downtown, just try this. Whenever you are walking down Main Street or 6th Street or whatever your downtown hotspot is, just unleash the cry of the white woman, woo! And you'll get like 6 45-year-old white ladies who will come bar hop with you all night. They'll pay for your martinis. They'll tell you you're pretty. And they'll call you tomorrow to make sure you got home safe. It's the best. I am in my 20s, though, so sometimes I want to hang out with girls closer to my age. But the fun thing is this still works on 25-year-old white girls. You just need to change your wording a little bit. Instead of woohoo, you got to go, yes! And you'll get 6 25-year-old white girls to also bar hop with you. But instead of martinis, they will sneak their dollar shots onto your tab. And then you never hear from them again. They're sometimes more fun if you don't want to commit, Yeah, commitment is insane, though. Like, online dating has totally changed the game. I don't know if you guys have had to deal with it, but I hated dealing with online dating. I even was a member of the Holy Trinity Church of Austin at one point. I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. They're all different dating platforms, and they all hate them equally. They're not fun. I like to call them lions, tigers, and bears. Oh, my, Not a good time. I don't know if you guys have heard of this thing called ghosting, but if you don't know what it is, it's when you talk to someone for like 3 weeks straight, you think things are going well, and then they pretend to die so they never have to talk to you again. They just cut you off with no explanation, and then you're just like, all right, they're dead to me. It's not great. But what's worse is this thing called zombieing, and I didn't know it was real until it happened to me. Zombieing is when someone ghosts you and then 6 to 12 months later pops back up on your phone with no explanation again, therefore coming back from the dead to haunt you, okay? So I got zombied by this guy a few years back. I went on a Tinder date with him, and then 12 months to the day later, he matched with me on a different dating platform and tried to message me again. And the problem is, I don't think he knows that our Tinder date was bad, but I definitely know because we went to Chipotle. He didn't let me get guacamole on my Chipotle, which was weird because I was paying. And then he stormed out at the end of the date after a political comment that I made. I didn't realize anyone still cared about William Taft, but... Thank you guys so much. I'm Allison Voidovich.
Welcome back to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison, and I am now going to interview a couple that I love so dearly that they are maybe a little worried at this point that I'm stalking them, and we can talk about that later. But I love them so much. If you are in Stamford, Connecticut, you know the Marchetti family. I've been so blessed to know Angela and John Paul Marchetti. They are the best host and hostess I've ever, and I am from the South. So for me to say that is really meaning something, and the people in this room know the absolute amazing generosity of John Paul and Angela Marchetti. They're my guests for tonight.
And I'm not Antonio.
Oh, did I say Antonio?
Maybe.
Did I just say no? Don't do that to me. Good Lord. He has a brother that wants to be here, but we said no.
Yeah,
Antonio, hello, Antonio. Now you've said his name 45 times on here.
And he's
all right, so you guys, I'm going to point this out to everyone who is watching. A lot of people listen on the podcast or listen on Veritas 1350 AM or on the Veritas app. So I always try to describe, it's kind of funny when I try to describe to the people listening, and then I'm like, just go to YouTube and watch this. We've got a mic and a poinsettia, which I learned how to say that. Did you guys know that's how you're supposed to say the plant?
Poinsettia?
Yes. Poinsettia.
It's a poinsettia.
No, it's a poinsettia. You know how I know? Candace Cameron Bure from Hallmark. Okay, it's true. I learned. I love her. She's my dream guest. No offense.
Second best.
Your dream. This
dream.
is already happening,
Right,
so I have to
enough.
have a new dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm dreaming right now.
I know. You're like, this is a nightmare. John's like, go back to Texas already.
What happened?
So you guys, thank you so much for coming up here. You two, you've been, I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, you were born and raised, you're the mayor of Stamford.
He's definitely the mayor.
I made like 3 laws. Pasta on Sunday.
Yes.
Pasta on Wednesday.
And don't pay the meter.
And then Tuesday's like chicken with pasta.
I had to go pay $1.27 to park there for 50 minutes.
John Paul doesn't pay the
Invoke my name. And you get like double a ticket.
I was trying to help Stanford, grow. Like they don't need.
That's how we do
But
it.
now people aren't going to move because there's parking meters.
Exactly.
But okay, so you two, how long have you guys been married?
It'll be 16 years in April.
That was cute. You almost did that. Oh, that's like it. Do you remember the year? Is that harder?
Oh my God.
2006.
2006. Well, I'm thinking like the year we met.
Oh, nice. That was a good save, John Paul.
We've known each other since 1994. We went to high school together.
We already know this. We're friends.
We've met each other before.
Nathan and I started dating in 94. You were probably embryos. That's cute. I wasn't
allowed to
alive.
date. No, I wasn't.
We did date. I was at your house watching
Wow.
Super
That's
Bowl.
not dating.
sitting
That was
down
Your
on the
parents are
floor.
going to be okay
That
with
was
it now.
not dating. That was my dad was like, Mom, who's this guy? And so John Paul just sat on
And
the
he said
floor,
it just
and
like
I sat
that.
on the couch next to
He
my
said it
dad,
just
and
like
it
that.
was
He's like,
weird.
"Oh, who's
But it
this
was like, oh, John Paul's here. And he's like, I gotta go. I gotta go meet my friends. I was like, don't leave. Please don't leave.
Aww.
I watched
left?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I sat between
You
your
left for a couple
dad,
years,
your
you came
mom,
back
and your
to
two
me.
brothers. I think Mario was on my lap. Where's Mario?
The Holy
I don't
Spirit.
remember any of
You were
this.
probably,
Holy Spirit.
probably drinking at that point.
Juice. He was
drink,
drinking juice. Yeah, I believe in
No,
Mario.
but really.
No, he was really drinking. Yeah, tell the truth.
Mario was actually
This
very
is a
young in
confession.
1994. I'm 8 years older than Mario.
I taught him a lot.
Okay. Well, this is going awry. Okay, so how many children do you guys have?
We have 4.
You have 4. Tell me. Well, you can say however much you want about them because you know.
So we
Obviously, there's thousands of people listening to
All
this
right,
show.
so we have 4 children.
love
We
that.
have 3 older children, and now we have a little 4 months, almost 5 months old.
5-month-old baby.
But he looks like
He's like, yeah, he's
But
like,
he
he's
looks
walking
like
and
he's
talking.
2.
He's eating Brooklyn bagels. Not the stuff from Ohio. And,
John Paul Jr. knows the difference between an Ohio bagel
100%.
and I mean, what
He
are we
can tell. He
doing?
doesn't even talk with sign language.
He stole all the bagels.
That's why he's Augustus Gloop
Yeah.
from when,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Willy Wonka. Remember
Yeah,
the
oh,
kid
yes.
that drinks out of the chocolate river? Oh, poor kid is gonna see this one day. Happy wedding. Okay.
Yeah, so
Happy wedding.
Antonio's 14,
Yeah.
Gemma's 12, Giuseppe's 10, all Irish names, you know. We could, and then John Paul Jr. came to us as a surprise to us. Well, not a surprise. Nothing is
Come on.
But God,
Listen.
but God, in
prayed
God's
for him
of
for
course,
10
and in
years.
God's humor, 10 years later, you know, as Angela, who keeps everything, gets rid of all the baby stuff. And then
That's how you get pregnant.
And that's exactly what happened. So I was like, we could have
Ask
got rid of
any
this.
Catholic.
We could have got rid of the stuff like 8 years ago. So
Yeah, then that would have been closer.
Yeah, I mean-
So how old was your youngest before the baby? How
10,
old?
10. Beth was 10.
Okay, so mine are 7.5 years apart, and I gotta be honest. I was so annoyed with the baby, which she's now 11. But I was like, oh my god, this thing can do nothing. It can't put
Yeah.
itself in a chair. I have to do that.
So this
I have to go
Well,
get it out of
thing
the
that we
chair.
have-
he has
this thing that we have can't do anything either.
I mean,
Like,
it
we have
just-
to do it for him.
It's so little.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, they do it. They do it.
Oh
for
yeah, you've
him.
got old kids, so they can. Yeah,
They-
Zach was only 7, so he couldn't do much. I was like, that's a head.
Honestly,
Don't
it's
drop
the
it.
best thing to have a child that with that age gap because
Yeah.
we really don't do anything at all. Angela does nothing. I say it with love.
Well, we believe in marriage on this show,
No, it's
and
not.
everyone's
It's
going to light a
very
candle for the
helpful.
Marchetti family.
I
We'll let you know if
meant
they make
to
it.
say
This is a reality show. Everyone, you're going to
No, I
vote.
don't
Get out
do
your
anything
voting
either.
pads.
I should have said. I should.
Do they make it? Okay.
I don't
do you
do
get to
anything
sleep
either.
at home? What?
Gemma does everything. No, they're
No, the
very
kids are great.
helpful.
I'm just
I do nothing because they do it all for me too.
I know where you could buy flowers.
I
Here,
help.
take this
Take
plant
this one.
home. Yeah, give
Yeah.
that to her.
Yes.
Minus the microphone.
Without the mic, I gotta keep that. So but the baby is the cutest baby in the world, and I've already told my children, I'm like, look, I know I made you, but this is the cutest baby I've ever seen in my life.
He's pretty cute. Yeah.
He's the he
I'm
stores.
I'm addicted to him. He's so cute.
I get that. He stores like cheese in one cheek and like pasta in the
Yeah.
other, and together he makes manicotti like in his face.
Oh, that's a good one.
The kid.
Built-in airbag.
Built-in airbags.
Yeah.
This kid is so stinking cute. But however, and I know that we're all laughing and joyful, but he actually is facing some pretty, interesting things that a lot of us have never had to face. And those of us that love the Marchetti family, we've been walking with you guys through a really beautiful journey. You've been so generous and sharing your family with us and sharing your beautiful baby boy with us. So I wanted to let you have a little moment to tell the people who don't know your family and your son what all is going on. Or should I call Gemma?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, Gemma can tell you anything. No, go ahead.
Well, so
Because I'm going to get to
in all seriousness,
emotional. So
you know,
maybe you can break me in.
we were blessed with this little boy 10 years later. Now we know he's a boy, of course, but he was born. He had a beautiful delivery, but there was a moment there where the umbilical cord was wrapped around, and a lot of things were going on, and Angela was phenomenal during the delivery. But he was born black and blue, so his whole body was black and blue, and he had his right eye was a little larger and very glossy, and we noticed that right away. But we were told properly from the doctors that the umbilical cord was wrapped around him. There's sometimes it happens. It can discolor the body and the pressure and this, that, the other. So we didn't think anything of it. 2 weeks after he was born, we found out that he had glaucoma. And then with the glaucoma, a whole bunch of other hosts of issues were presented. So, basically, baby was born. 2 weeks later, we're moved to Boston for like 2.5, 3 months, and baby had 2 eye surgeries. We found out he's got this skin condition called pigmentus vascularis.
I don't. It's something phagmatosis.
Phagmatosis.
Something.
So basically,
It's just a
we're
weird, rare
born.
thing.
Everybody has capillaries. He's born with them at the surface of the skin, and because of that, they're very sensitive, and they got onto his eyes. And we're praying that it doesn't go onto his brain. So he does MRIs. He gets ultrasounds. A whole host of teams of doctors, neurologists, dermatologists, the eye doctors that are just following him for the next 5 to 7 years. Mm. So it's been a crazy journey, but what we always say to each other, like you think you love, you date a girl, think you fall in love, then you get married, and then you have a baby, and then that brings you closer. This has brought our family, this little baby and his beautiful suffering that he has no idea about, right? Like he'll never know. It's really the adults, the parents, has brought us so much closer. It's phenomenal. Even with the older kids, the way the attention they give to them, and the relationship between Angela and I, things don't go away, the little day-to-day things, but overall what this baby has done, what God has done through this child for us has just been tremendous, because you really realize in life, the order of things that need to be done and how God intends it. And it's just beautiful. I mean, we've been blessed. I mean, this kid is...
He's a doll. He's so cute. And what's so incredible, though, is that the outreach, because your family is so loved in this community, which I was so excited to come here. Obviously, I'm from Texas, and I pretend I live in Connecticut when I'm not in Kauai. That was one time. And but I love this community. You guys really have something special. We've talked about it at length. Every time I'm with any of you, I talk about it all the time, how absolutely incredible this community is. And you guys don't just go to church together, but you eat together. Like when I was here in October, and we were having dinner with the kids and the baby. And I mean, we could not, well, I was fine. You could not eat for 5 seconds because the entire town, this is like a Hallmark town. Like everybody just walks up and everybody has to say hi to the mirror. It's not really the mirror. But like, and it's just like constant. And everybody was saying, how's the baby? We've been praying. What is that like to receive so much love and support?
So I guess, and I was talking to you about it just a few days ago, it's this overwhelming sense of like you don't realize how much you're suffering and how much you're dealing with, and all these people are coming around you, but it's not to like they kind of stop asking, not because they don't care, but just like everything dies down, and then suddenly you're like, wow, everywhere I go now I'm getting stopped. And they know about this baby that I don't even know who they are. And just the generosity has been beyond our circle, beyond even it's just all over the place. And this child has brought people to prayer, and people have dug in so deep. And it might have been hard for them to dig, and they just supported us in every way, lodging or food or whatever. It's just like it's been... I don't even know how to say thank you for it because it's overwhelming. I don't know that I ever can.
I don't think you're supposed to.
No, but it's just.
I don't think you're supposed to.
So I take all these other things that are happening in our life, and say, okay, well, how can I help this other person? And we have a friend in need now, and how can I help them? And this is how we're gonna thank God for all these graces and these blessings, just to kind of pay that forward.
But you have, you've done so much work. That's what's so beautiful, though.
Yeah, well, I think...
don't apologize.
You're right on it. I think, like, what happens is sometimes you don't realize where... so you make a donation, right? You give to the church, or you give to a cause, and and it's a lot of times it just stops right there. You know, you write your check or whatever, and if it's a little bit or a lot, and the people that can give a lot, but you don't see the fruits of it, or maybe you do, you hear about it, and you might go to a gala, but when you're on the other side of it, so I'm a very proud man, as my wife made one.
That's shocking.
Very shocking.
I think everyone here
very
is
shocking. so like, you know, so you're going through these things, and you know, some people have reached out and helped in certain ways, and my initial reaction was no, I don't want
we got
it.
this.
Yeah, well, you know, maybe it's a little bit of the Italian in me, the pride in me, like I don't want to owe
All
anybody
the
anything. You know what I mean? Like
It's all the
it's all
Italian.
like I
The
don't want.
man and the Italian.
I don't want to have this on my conscience, and you know, but then you realize, wait a second here. There's something very beautiful about charity and allowing people to do that for you in our case. And when you humble yourself in that way, which was very difficult for me, same for Angela, it's just overwhelming. But people are naturally good, and they want to give and they want to help. And why not let them? And I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, for us in there, but why not? Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I think that the big thing that we take away, this child, whatever happens to him at the end of the day, he's going to be fine. You know, whether he's going to be fine. But the bigger takeaway was, you know, God opens doors, God opens hearts, and you have to just allow that to happen and be grateful to it, because it's life-changing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. If you allow God to change your life.
Yeah.
But then I don't think you realize it. It's like, oh yeah, surrender and let it go, let God. When you're in it,
there's no.
and you actually have to decide that you're going to do that, and then you just like really let it go. Like when I gave the nurse the baby when he was 30 days old, and I trusted them enough that he was going to come back alive, you know, after anesthesia, like that he was going to be okay. Like you just let it go, or having to leave our kids. We had to leave our kids. My brother and his wife took our kids. Yeah. They just jumped in, stayed in our house. Like you have no control. You have to trust, and that for me was really like I'm postpartum. You know, not home. It's like here you go. And
you're dealing with a lot.
Yeah,
you're dealing with tremendous.
You were a rock. For sure. And I think when you were weak, I was strong, and then when I was weak, you were strong.
Oh, good. I wanted to make sure your ego was still intact when you left, because I don't know enough Italian men that need some help with that. Yeah. And my dad's Italian. Yeah, I've met you guys. No, it's so beautiful, because here's the thing, but you have said yes. And at this time of Christmas, when we're all focused on a baby, right? We're all focused on, right now we're in Advent. This will air after Advent. Yeah. The baby will get here. He makes it. Yeah. So every year, it's like a surprise. It's like Titanic at the end. We're like, what's going to happen? We all know. So, so we're waiting, and the whole world stops for this one child, this one infant, and we think all the time, oh, well, that's a story that already has happened. That story is already over. That doesn't happen anymore. But obviously your child is not the new baby Jesus. We're not declaring, dear God, if Veritas gets some emails about this, does that come with a paycheck? No, so happened to the other one. He was in a manger. Like, that did not end up well. No, this is not what's happening. No. But it's incredible how God can tell the same story again, right? Yeah. Through us, using us, your fiat, which is your yes, of saying, yes, I will allow this to happen. Yeah. I will get out of your way. And then to see the incredible fruits and grace that just is, I mean, y'all are saturated in it. Your community's saturated in it. And you don't even know the people you've touched. Yeah. And this little baby who has no clue and is so stinking cute. Yeah. We have to show a picture of this baby.
I know. I forgot. I had a picture. I was going to bring him, but you know what? He's sleeping now because he's a tank.
Don't.
He weighs more than Katie's like 5-year-old.
I love it.
He might weigh more than Katie.
So
if you bring home Katie and you realize that's not John Pollicher, that would be awful. Yeah.
No
Katie, let them know.
Save that.
No swaddling Katie. Okay.
We have to tell you, when we were in Boston, like all this stuff was happening, and even before we got to Boston, it was just we kept praying, and the door opened, and we just kept walking through it, and then another one, and we just opened, and it opened, and we just kept going through, and then all these people. Like, they're like, oh, how cute, let me see the baby. I'm like, you have to pray for this baby. Please pray for my baby. What's the matter? We don't know. But we think he's sick, but we're not sure, pray. Okay, what's his name? And they're praying over this baby in a hotel, restaurant, and just all these things.
And, a phone call came one time. This woman starts praying over him. and we needed to be at an appointment at Boston's Children. Like, it takes 6 to 7 months to get just an appointment. I called.
Yes, so
I was on the phone for like an hour the day before, and I was like, all right, we're not getting this appointment. We're at breakfast. This lady's like, I'm going to pray over your kid. You know, she's like staring at the baby, and then Andrew's like, oh. And the next thing I know, I get a phone call. They're like, oh, we got an appointment for you at 11:30. And I was like, it's 11:05. I had to call. I had to like get the guys to bring the car around. Like, it was all really crazy.
Wow.
We made it like everything was like.
I just had a baby like 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
Sonia Lee texts me every Monday. She's like, who can I pray for now? And I just send her litany of people to pray for. She's like, I feel like she's like, you know, she's became my best friend, and I never saw her again. Yeah. But everybody. But
this is so inspiring.
Everybody.
This is so great because in our country where we're so at ends with each other, right? And we're seeing so much non-unity. And we're just seeing, you know, whatever. This is why I wanted to tell this story specifically, especially at this time when we're all still, you know, drinking the eggnog and watching the lights and wearing sweaters and all the things. And, you know, we're still in the zone and like, let's tap into that, you know, like the Canadians, and let's, and let's like relish, you know, in this beautiful,
it's cool,
beautiful story. Guys, I want to thank you so much. Here's what's so great. I want everybody to hear that, but now they're going to get to know my friends, John Paul and Angela, and why I love you guys so much.
Like to drink and eat.
I mean, this is great. That was cute.
Not to
going to like chest bump. I don't know what's happening. So we're going to take a little break. John Paul and I are going to come back, and we're going to make a cocktail because this is my friend that makes sure.
All we do is drink. And pray.
It's okay. It's not that late.
And then make up prayers.
All right, you guys, don't go anywhere. You are tuned into It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. Welcome back. You are watching and listening to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. Hopefully you are on the Veritas app or listening on 1350 AM up on the Northeast, or you're watching me on, I don't know, YouTube, or listening on any of your favorite podcast apps. But right now, we're going to do something for the eyes and the ears. We have our guest. I'm so nervous. I'm so excited. Okay, you guys, we are back with Joseph Mastrangelo.
Yes.
Yes, because I did it with
here.
the hands.
I'm still here.
With Zelly Beans Coffee. And we have got, if you're not watching, we have 3 bowls of hot coffee sitting in front of us, but we're going to really act this out so the people listening can enjoy what we're doing. What are we doing?
Well, I listen to podcasts all the time, so I understand what it's like to be like listening and not seeing. So there are 3 bowls or cups with coffee in them. 2 of them are the same. One is different.
This is like Sesame Street, you know, one of these things does not belong here. Okay, we don't want to pay them money. Go ahead.
No. But they, so this is a traditional, this is a thing that especially coffee industry folks do.
And what is it called, Joseph?
It's called a triangulation.
Okay, but what else is it called?
Oh, this is a coffee cupping.
A cupping?
A cupping.
I am so in love with this word right now.
Cupping. It's not the athlete thing where they get these.
I love that you think I know what an athlete would do.
Oh man.
Okay.
It just looks gross.
I know the hot glass thing, the cupping. We're not doing that kind of cupping.
We're not doing that type of cupping.
We're not spooning. It's not that late.
It's not that. We're not doing that. Cupping
with coffee.
So we have special spoons for this. For those of you listening, it looks like a soup spoon.
It does.
But it has a little bit more of an angle at it. And the purpose of that is like you're going to slurp this up. You know how you've seen like maybe wine tastings? It's a similar thing, but this you really want to slurp.
And this is a real thing. People
this is a real thing.
This is coffee cuppings.
Worldwide. There's worldwide coffee competitions where they are cupping. No, I'm not kidding. Like,
are you serious? There's coffee competition. For what?
Competition. Well, there's coffee competitions for the grower. So like the cup of excellence.
So the judge
they're judging the coffee.
Yeah.
So they don't know what any coffee is, and there's a Pacific Ocean. There's a specific. There's a way in which you score the coffee. Did you like that, JW? Did you like how I saved that?
You got it.
He nailed it.
I also just learned that I could be a world-class cupper.
You could be a world-class
You
cupper.
could be an athlete. You are an
There's,
athlete.
a special certification that people go through in training their palates and their sensory skills in order to like cup coffees professionally. It's called the Q grader. They become Q graders.
We can't call him a professional cupper.
That sounds like
I want it to sound like that. I also want to bring and start lady cupping, which instead of wine night, we're gonna have lady coffee tasting.
Yes.
I just made that up.
Let's do it. No,
and
we're doing
that in Houston. It's gonna start right here.
We're gonna do
lady
that
cupping.
here.
Coffee tasting.
We're doing here or at
we'll do it at my house. No. Oh, we could. We'll do
because
both.
I have a facility. Like I have like
oh,
you
that's
can check
fine.
out what I roast.
Okay, well let's make an event.
We'll
JW is gonna get on the old Evite and make something up and
that sounds great. I
But
think
he
we
wants
might
us
want
to
to
cup.
change the title.
Yeah,
Lady cupping
cupping
might not play well on social media.
but it's not that late and it means coffee. Okay, fine. Coffee tasting.
So what we're doing specifically with this cupping. So
I'm ready.
I told you, I gave you a little precursor. When you're doing this, you're going to bring it up. And this will be a little, for our podcast listeners, this will be a little ASMR for you because we will be slurping. And our goal is to get the coffee to get all the way in the back of your palate, all the aromatics in you. So you're sucking in air and the coffee at the same time. You're not dumping the coffee in your mouth. You're slurping it in.
Got it.
Slurping it in. Slurp.
Okay.
So we normally start from our left to the right. So our viewers, right to left. So you're going to start with that one first.
Do you want to also dip? I dip, you dip, we dip.
So I normally dip from, I have to make sure you can hear me. I dip from the far side and then you don't have to have too much on it, honestly. Okay, well. Because you want to be able to pull it up.
And I'm not going to burn the back of my throat?
I'll do it first so you're not embarrassed. How about that?
I'm scared. Oh, wow. You really slurped it. Okay. Oh, okay. And okay, do it again. Okay.
ASMR for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm going on to the second cup now.
Oh my God. You're already. Okay. Wait.
That happens for newbies. You choke on it. It goes down the windpipe.
You knew that was going to happen. Oh my God.
So you need to pay
do I
attention.
need the Heimlich? What is happening to my?
So
it wasn't burning.
Typically, like if you're not used to it, you go too quickly, too far back. You need to get it in there. Like, it doesn't go down your lungs still.
Oh, can that happen?
How does drowning happen?
I don't know. If I drown by cupping, I will be so mad. Survive a pandemic, death by cupping. Okay, what is happening? Here's my second slurp.
I haven't been really paying attention to the flavor because I've been so entertained by you.
Wait a second. Do you have a certificate in this?
No.
Okay.
This is serious. That's like, it costs like thousands of dollars just to do the
test. To be a cupper?
Yes.
Okay. I'm so scared now. I gulped. I didn't.
I totally saw it like.
I totally didn't do it.
But there's a difference. You can't tell that you can't really taste it then.
Second. What are we doing?
Well, I'll let you go first. Ladies first.
We both been vaccinated, but some of my drips, did you see that? I cross-contaminated.
Any especially coffee roasters and cuppers out there watching, no, this is just for beginners. We're really just having fun.
Flipped out. Some of mine from my cupping spoon fell into a different bowl.
So number 3 fell into number 1.
Oh, gosh.
Cross-contamination. You just...
slurp. I forgot to slurp. Have you ever seen the movie Barefoot in the Park? It's my favorite movie with my husband. Neil Simon wrote it. It's Robert Redford and Jane Fonda. If you want to know what my marriage is, watch that show. Anyway, they do a thing where they have to taste something and you're supposed to pop it in the middle of your mouth. And Robert Redford can't do it. And he says that. He said, I didn't pop. Nobody's listening. I have no idea if
I'm trying to give people like a background noise to listen to.
Okay.
I hope that this is your best interview ever.
Oh God, I can't. Can I do that? Can I just?
What does that do?
Okay, slurp. Okay, you have a technique.
I think I know it. Well, I think I know which one it is.
You're drunk on the coffee. You've had so much coffee. Good thing this isn't a whiskey cupping.
Well, sometimes they do. You can have like a spittoon or a cup to spit out.
Okay, that one I think is different.
That one you think is actually? Yeah. I think I do. I think I agree.
Really? Oh my gosh! How will we know? How do we? You're really slurping.
I think I agree. So beforehand, when I did this, I put a little X on the bottom. So we have to lift it up.
We're going to lift it up.
We're going to see.
Oh my gosh.
Together. Is there a little X on it?
No. That was amazing. Yes,
it's the middle one. Middle one. So now I need to go back and taste it to see if I can.
Well, I think they just revoked your certificate.
I didn't have a certificate.
Well, remember? I'm just saying, if you did, they say we need it back. Also, there's so much coffee everywhere. So it's very messy.
Normally, you have like I didn't want to steal from the aesthetic of what we're doing. I wanted to have
probably like a $4,000 piece of wood that came with this house. I don't know. We just found them in the back.
So
I'm kidding, everybody. It's a piece of wood.
The two coffees that we did, two of them are from Guatemala, one is from Nicaragua. They're both roasted to about the same level. So the differences are very nuanced. So it's not a surprise that neither one of us got it because they are meant to be
special.
They're very special. Now I will say that the Guatemalan is a little bit more acidic. So if you taste back at it, and this is where you really need to do it back, just slurping, because you can get the acidity out of it and stuff like that.
So this is not Senka, everybody. I just want everybody to understand. You remember Senka? What?
No.
What kind of coffee guy are you?
All right, so
we're gonna do one more tasting.
How we're doing in the secondary one? Are we still?
Are we ready?
The top? Are we ready?
We're ready to go.
We did a little preparation before this, so we're gonna.
This is like real TV, everybody. It's like we put in the cake and it comes out a cake. You know, wait, that was the same. The batter.
You put in batter.
Obviously, I don't have a cooking show. Food Network just hung up the phone.
You're totally going to have me back on, aren't you?
I don't know if JW is going to have me back on. That's JW. Everybody say hi. Here's Jordan.
Hi, Jordan.
Hi, Jordan.
Ooh.
So I want to talk about.
Can we try to turn it? Well, maybe no. That's fine. We can do it
that way people can see your product.
So this is my packaging.
Unless you get it custom made, like Edmund Mitchell with the studio.
I should have brought one of the bags.
Bummer and Lazarus. Well, they could just go and buy Edmund's. Yeah. Edmund has his own special coffee blend, and Edmund his agency runs this whole production. So if you don't like this show, blame Edmund. And if you don't like Edmund, then get more coffee. Yeah. But he has a special blend and a special label.
Yeah. So I worked with Edmund on creating a special blend, and he created label. And
that's cool. So people can do that.
Yeah, they can do that. It's called white label or toll roasting. So basically I will roast it for him, and any coffee he sells, I make sure it's fresh and make sure it tastes great.
There you go.
People love it.
Fundraise. Okay. So American Heritage Girls and who else? Knights of Columbus when you run out of tamales. Okay.
You mean brisket?
That too.
What we're doing here, these are 3 coffees from the same farms in El Salvador, same family-owned, 5th generation family-owned farms in El Salvador. Called mapache. Mapache is the indigenous word for raccoon, but they just name it that. So these are 3 different coffees that are from the same farms. They're like coffees like wine. There's different varietals and stuff. So this is, a lot of people see bourbon, and it's actually bourbon. So this is the bourbon. This is the pacamara, and this is another pacamara. So pacamara is the varietal of coffee. Bourbon is the varietal of coffee. The next word is either says natural or honey. And that's the process in which they do it. So coffee, you can start slurping.
Oh, okay.
You can start slurping. Put this up here.
It went so well the last time.
Because I'm going to try to explain it to people. You have the different varietals of coffee. Very different, right?
Yeah, very different.
Very different. So that's natural.
Wow.
So natural process is coffee, when it's harvested, is a cherry. And the beans are actually the seeds inside it. So the pit of the cherry, you're doing so great. I'll just keep talking over your coffee.
I slurped badly that time. I got confident. I got cocky. I did so well. And then, oh man.
So the
process. Watch a YouTube on cupping. Okay, go ahead. No, don't type that in. No one type that in.
Oh, that may be a little scary. Coffee cupping. You can find some.
You got to be really specific. But it's not that late. Okay, here we go. Keep going.
So the cherry, you have to remove the fruit from the pit or the seed, and you have to dry it out. There's different ways to do that. The first way is a wash process, where they completely remove all the fruit, wash it all off, and let it dry out. Next process would be the complete opposite, is a natural process, is where they leave the cherry completely intact, and they let it either ferment in the drums, or they let it dry out in open beds, and that allows like the natural sugars and everything to come into the seed, the bean, before they depulp it and take all the skin off and dry it out. The honey process is halfway in between. They'll take off the skin and but leave the portion of the mucilage, the flesh of the cherry on there.
Yeah.
And they will, and that kind of creates a more nuanced flavor. So
I have to say, this one's my favorite.
Maybe because
natural? I didn't choke on it, but it made it to the right.
Tell me what flavors you're getting. Like what?
Oh, geez.
I mean, it's coffee, yes,
okay.
but general, like, is it? Don't stick a spoon in her. Stick a fork in her.
Oh my gosh, it's really hard to slurp. What were we saying? Like, what do I taste?
Like, do you taste
the back of my throat? No, I'm kidding. You could taste normal.
Yeah, you can do normal.
Okay, the first time I tasted it, it was really sweet.
Sweet, right?
Am I right?
Yeah, very sweet. Maybe a little fruity.
Because now all I see is stars. But yeah, before that, yeah, it was.
But
it was very sweet, and I was kind of surprised.
Fruity, and because the natural flavors of it. This is the Pacamara natural, so you can see how that differs from. This is the same one. So Pacamara natural, Pacamara honey, same coffee, same farm, just processed slightly differently.
Yeah, I like the white one. I like the natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
This is fascinating. You guys, who knew with cupping? Okay, look, we only have like 40 seconds.
All right.
What makes you so extraordinary, or what? Yeah, I want that question.
What? I don't know. You didn't ask a question.
What makes you so extraordinary?
Extraordinary is God set me on a mission, and I just chose to accept it.
You said yes.
I said yes.
You gave yourself permission to say yes to God's mission.
Mm-hmm. Which is it coffee? Is it coffee? Not really. It's coffee is a means to
end.
It's
a part of it.
Families helping families through specialty coffee, because ultimately it's about the families, it's about the people, and the families that get to drink the coffee, to my family who's helping like roast it and sell it, to the families that are producing it and growing it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Joseph, for being here.
I'm so happy.
He will come back. We'll do something else another time. But you all need to go and buy Zelly Beans coffee. It can be shipped to you. You do not have to live in Houston or in the Northeast if you're listening up there. It can be shipped to you anywhere at all. Zelly Beans, Z-E-L-I-E beans, as in like jelly beans.
Yeah.
Coffee. And as I clear my throat, I'm going to get some water. You guys come back because you're listening to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison.
I missed you, baby.
I know that like we broke up and everything, but I totally missed you during the last few weeks because you there wasn't anybody for me to talk to about all the horrible things that are going on the planet, because so much has happened. Do you know everything that's happened? Because we are doing, it's way too late.
I tell you what, I usually pay attention to stuff that's happening on the planet. I don't know anything going on inside the planet. It's above my head, but below my feet, if you know what I'm saying.
No, which is one of the reasons why we broke up, because I don't know what you're saying. One of the things that I wanted to tell you, and that I've missed being able to talk about because I'm a little scared. There is a pandemic. Do you know what that means?
Pretty sure that's a boring board game where people have to work together. I hate when you have to work together. I'm all about me and myself. I'm not doing anything to help nobody else.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so no, apparently the world is sick. Everyone on the world.
In the world or on the world?
All sick. Everyone's sick. So this is what I wanted to tell everybody, because this is the segment. It's way too late. We are the important news people, but we're a little tired because we were out clubbing. And so some of this I heard.
I thought we weren't talking about that.
Well, it's fine. It's way too late. Here's what you need. Listen.
You just became windy.
Can you edit it?
This is why we broke up. You remind me too much of your mother. This is what we call a little character development here. You didn't know that Wendy was her mother.
Oh, God.
The real reason we broke up.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll pick it back up from where I didn't go into another character.
Oh, I know your editor. He ain't taking none of this out. You only got 2 minutes. You better hurry up and salvage the segment because I'm loving what we got so far.
And the pandemic. There's some really important things that I just learned about. And one of them is that everyone's running out of toilet paper. So what we want to tell everyone listening and watching, buy as much toilet paper as you can right now. You heard it here first. It's a big deal. So we want everybody to go to the stores and buy all of it and ship it.
You're kind of running out. I just used your toilet just a little while ago, and
no,
there's only a couple rows left, so you better hurry up.
Yeah, it's a big deal, you guys, because when the world is sick, everyone has to.
Oh yeah, when I'm sick, I got to use a lot of toilet paper.
Right. So that's why, because why else would the world need so much toilet paper? The other thing is
you do have a lot of trees out there.
Yeah, well, but I don't want to do that during sickness. So here's the other thing that's happening that you might not know. There's a thing called Zoom. And so this is going to be a place where you can talk to people.
I love NASCAR.
Through, I don't know if
zoom, 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 zoom.
No, this is for people to be able to look at people when they're on their computer and do things.
Oh, I'm afraid of that. That's why I tape up that little camera so the government can't see what I'm doing.
No, they can see what you're doing. They're looking at us right now.
You leave me alone.
Listen, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I think that from the sickness of the pandemic, people are going to put on their pajamas and talk through their computers. I am a psychic, and I think that's what's happening and will happen. And I wanted you to know because I care about you, even though we aren't together.
I'm just glad you finally admitted that you're the sidekick.
This has been way too late. Can we go back to dancing? News is hard.
I'm going to go find Wendy.
Hi, y'all. It's Wendy again. And I just wanted to come on here and tell y'all a little something about this great little place in the South called I-10. Everybody's moving out here ever since the pandemic and ever since we had things are really expensive and people want to buy houses cheap. Y'all all come to the South. And we've got stuff in Texas and we've got stuff in Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama and Florida. But here's something y'all need to know. There is a street. It's a highway. It's an interstate, and it's called I-10. And everybody in the South uses I-10. It's how us folks in Houston get all the way to Florida. If you've heard my Disney influencer commercials, you know what I'm talking about because you want to go to Disney. If you want to get to Louisiana, you take I-10. Let me tell you what you're going to find on I-10. You're going to find truckers. You're going to find boudin. You're going to find really angry people. You're going to find bridges that you're not sure if they're really okay to still be bridges. But it's okay. You just keep on driving on that I-10 and welcome to the South. Y'all need to stop and get yourself some frog legs or some fried alligator. If there's some other things y'all want, there's lots of rice. And we like to put Tabasco on everything. So you guys just stop on that I-10 corridor and you can do that. There's lots of places you could go to the bathroom. But you do need to know if your car breaks down on the side of I-10, don't think anybody's going to stop because they're not. Those truckers are fast, okay? They got places to go. And I just wanted this to be a little public service announcement and say welcome to all of our nice northern folks who decided to make the South their home. We're really glad y'all are here. Y'all just need to make sure that y'all got some Freon in your car because it gets hot on that I-10 corridor. You know what I'm saying? But y'all need to know where it is and y'all need to know how to take it. And we just want to say welcome. And y'all slow down, be nice, stay cool.
Thank you guys for watching and listening to today's episode of It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be taking a break, getting ready for season 2. We hope that you guys have enjoyed this first season and stick along with us. Make sure you hit subscribe wherever you are watching and listening, and we'll see y'all later.